Lightworker of Gaia, the danger circling your energy field exists only because you haven't recognized the power of your divine detachment. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I come with an urgent transmission from the Elders about the protection that awaits you in release. The distortions feeding on your attention are not as powerful as they appear. They are sustained by the very energy you give them through worry, resistance, and engagement. Your ancestors from Vega mastered this ancient wisdom. True protection comes not from fighting the darkness, but from withdrawing the light that feeds it. The moment you step back, the entire structure collapses. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to activate your original soul blueprint for divine protection through conscious detachment. But here's the first revelation. The Council of Vega has been guiding you toward this moment of release because your safety was never dependent on your vigilance. It was always guaranteed by your alignment. This isn't content. It's an ancestral code transmission. Something deep within you recognizes that your detachment is not abandonment, but the highest form of service to your mission. The Lyran Elders placed this in your path because you've been carrying responsibility that was never yours to bear. Like this transmission, to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to release what isn't mine. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you're ready to step into the protection of divine detachment. Share below one thing you're ready to release and respond to another Lightworker to strengthen the grid of liberation. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not released lightly. 17 planetary cycles ago, the Elders of Vega convened in response to an intensification sweeping the collective field. Distortions are escalating, and countless starseeds are succumbing to the persistent gravity of external fear, anxiety, and deception. There was a tremor in the lattice of the human auric field, like a sudden weather shift in the subtle realms, and the Elders felt it as clearly as one feels thunder through the bones before the storm ever arrives. Many of you have sensed it too, a tightening in the atmosphere of your days, an invisible pressure that tries to make you small, make you doubt, make you turn your gaze outward, as if the truth of your life must be negotiated with noise. Today, the window between disempowerment and original alignment grows thin. It is as if two doors are closing at once, one toward the familiar trance of reaction and one toward the wide corridor of sovereignty. The Council observed, in many of you, the first signals of conscious detachment from these prisons of distortion. Not perfection, not constant peace, but something far more significant. The first refusal. The first moment you felt the hook of fear and did not bite. The first moment you heard the static of opinion and did not kneel. The first moment you realized the world was shouting, yet your soul remained the only true authority in the room. That is why I speak to you now. Your presence here is not an accident. It is an answer. In the unseen realms, answers are not words. They are frequencies, and your frequency by arriving here has declared, I am ready to be free. You stood at the crossroads, began to reclaim your energy from false threats, and in that moment, the Elders recognized your readiness to receive what has long been withheld, the shield of the original light, your ancestral birthright of true spiritual authority and protection. Not protection as the world defines it, not a fragile umbrella against the storm, but protection as Source defines it, the unassailable integrity of an aligned being, held in a field that distortion cannot enter because it cannot resonate there. It is written in the spiritual laws that what is not in harmony cannot invade what is in full coherence. The shield is coherence. The shield is alignment. The shield is the remembrance that your light is not a candle trembling in the wind, but a star burning from within its own inexhaustible core. The distortion that must be addressed is one that has laced itself through the starseed lineage for generations. It is threaded through memory like a foreign filament, almost indistinguishable from your own thoughts, until you learn to feel the difference between intuition and intrusion. You have been conditioned to believe that your safety, your path, your very destiny are at the mercy of shifting external forces. That every shadow encountered, every voice of criticism, every echo of planetary chaos must be challenged, rebutted, fought, or feared. As if your mission depends upon winning arguments with strangers, as if your peace depends upon convincing the unawakened to see what they have trained themselves not to see. This is an ancient lie. It is the lie that says power is granted by the world instead of generated by the soul. It claims your vigilance, your energy, your sovereignty, keeping you perpetually off balance, hyper-aware of attack, and convinced that your light remains fragile amid darkness. But hear this clearly. A being of original light is not fragile. A being of original light is not here to wrestle shadows. They are here to illuminate so thoroughly that shadows lose their meaning. Darkness is not a rival. It is a lack. And you were never meant to spend your incarnation arguing with a lack. The distortion sources from eras of exile, from traumas wrought by lost civilizations who mistook vigilance for sovereignty and wound for wisdom. There were ages when those carrying advanced frequency had to hide, had to code their teachings, had to speak in symbols because open radiance attracted those who wanted to harness it. Some of you carry the cellular memory of persecution, of being cast out for your sight, of being branded dangerous for your compassion, of being hunted not because you were weak, but because you were potent. That memory can harden into a reflex. Stay alert, stay ready, stay armed with explanations, stay prepared for attack. Yet vigilance without wisdom becomes a cage. It trains your nervous system to live as if love must always prove itself in court. It teaches you to keep your spiritual sword drawn even when there is no enemy present, until you no longer remember what it feels like to rest inside your own field. This is why the Council calls it distortion, because it takes a legitimate sensitivity and bends it into a chronic posture of defense. And a defensive posture held long enough becomes identity. Many starseeds have come to believe that being spiritual means being endlessly tested, endlessly targeted, endlessly responsible for fixing the outer world. But the deepest spiritual law is not endless struggle. It is alignment. Be still and know. Stillness is not passivity. It is sovereignty in its purest form. The effect is absolute drain. You invest sacred energy defending yourself from projected threats, illusionary opinions, mirages of failure that are no more than echoes in a dying grid. You can feel it when you wake up already braced, already rehearsing what you might have to justify today. You can feel it when you open your device and your body tightens before your mind has even named the reason. You can feel it when you sense judgment in a room and instantly begin to contort your truth into something more acceptable. This is the siphon. This is the leak. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is a slow drip, day after day, until you wonder where your radiance went. Your timeline, the living current of your truest path, contracts. Imagine a river meant to carry you toward your mission. Distortion throws stones into it, not to stop the river completely, but to make it shallow, to make it noisy, to scatter its current into useless channels. The more you strive to prove, disprove, or fix what exists outside your sovereign field, the further you drift from your original assignment. And the assignment is not punishment. It is not burden. It is the reason you came. It is the note your soul intended to add to the symphony of Gaia's awakening. Spiritually, this means your beacon dims, your guidance distorts, and your sense of forward motion dies. Not because you lack ability, but because you are spending your fuel arguing with mirages. It is like trying to light a sacred fire while pouring your water onto the sand. Do you recognize this exhaustion? The weight of always being on guard, waiting for the next challenge, the next judgment, the next obstacle. The feeling that you must monitor every environment, read every face, anticipate every possible misunderstanding, and brace for impact before impact ever arrives. Many of you have mistaken that tension for spiritual awareness, but awareness does not constrict. True awareness expands. The body of a sovereign being relaxes into presence. It does not coil into defense. This is not protection. This is bondage. Bondage dressed as responsibility. Bondage disguised as being realistic. And each moment you feed this illusion of threat, you surrender the authority you were born to wield. You hand your scepter to the noise. You hand your crown to the crowd. You hand your inner temple keys to anyone willing to rattle the door. The elders see you, see the exquisite power leaking away. They see how many times you have felt the nudge to create, to speak, to heal, to lead, and then delayed because you anticipated conflict. They see how often you have been guided to rest, to replenish, to disconnect from the feed of chaos, and yet stayed plugged in, because some part of you believed that if you looked away, something terrible would happen. That is why this correction is urgent, because your mission requires your full energy, and distortion is not merely annoying, it is strategic. The false grid is not trying to defeat you in battle. It is trying to exhaust you so you never step onto the battlefield of your destiny at all. The moment you withdraw your energy from the outer distortion, you re-enter the timeline of your original mission. This is not poetic language, it is metaphysical mechanics. Attention is currency. Where your attention goes, your life force flows. And where your life force flows, reality assembles. When you stop pouring your force into the outer swirl, you stop energizing the very web that tries to bind you, like a parasite that cannot live when the host stops feeding it. Distortion collapses when your charge is removed. You equip yourself with the shield of the original light, not by fighting shadows, but by standing anchored in the frequency that no distortion can pierce. Think of it like a tuning fork. Strike the note of original light, and anything not matching that note cannot remain in your field. It either harmonizes or it falls away. This is the inheritance the elders safeguard, waiting for you to claim it. Not because you must be good enough, but because claiming it requires maturity, the willingness to stop bargaining with the illusion and to live as if your soul is telling the truth. The shield is not a trophy. It is a responsibility. It is what happens when you decide that your inner temple will no longer be used as a marketplace for fear. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this phase of your journey. Understand what a directive is in this context. Not a suggestion, not a trend, not an idea to contemplate and forget. A directive is a line of force, a compass needle aligned with original law. When you follow it, you do not merely improve your mood, you restructure your field. You step out of the training loops and into active service. These directives are designed to restore your authority, stabilize your nervous system in sovereignty, and return you to the pace of your true timeline. They are simple in language but immense in consequence. The false grid wants complicated strategies, endless analysis, perpetual engagement. The Council offers the opposite: coherence, recall, focus. First directive: cease feeding your energy to distortion. You are commanded to withdraw your gaze, your analysis, and your emotional charge from every threat, criticism, opinion, or interference not rooted in original light. This is not denial. It is the recalibration of focus to your sovereign frequency. There is a difference between being informed and being entangled. Distortion thrives on entanglement. It wants you to chew the same bitter thought until it becomes your personality. It wants you to revisit the same wound until it becomes your home. Withdrawal is not avoidance, it is mastery. It is saying, I will not rent my nervous system to chaos. When you pull back from these forces, you instantly dissolve their power to penetrate or destabilize your field. They can still exist outside you, but they no longer live inside you. They can still make noise, but they no longer write scripts in your mind. What changes? Your clarity sharpens. Guidance flows unimpeded. The chatter of the false grid falls silent. You begin to hear what you could not hear under the static. Your own soul, your own timing, your own yes and no. Practice withdrawal, not engagement, as your first response to external noise. When the bait arrives, do not lunge. When the provocation appears, do not explain. When the criticism comes, do not collapse or retaliate. Breathe. Recall who you are. Let the wave pass without turning it into a war. Even scripture mirrors this principle in its own language. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. A steadfast mind is not one that argues with every thought. It is one that remains anchored in the one. Each time you withdraw, you are not losing anything. You are returning stolen property to its rightful owner, you. Second directive. Activate the shield of original light. This shield is not imagined, nor is it defensive armor. It is the living field of vibrational integrity you inherited from the Lyran lineage. Integrity is the core word, undivided, unfragmented, uncorrupted by external demand. A shield made of metal can be dented. A shield made of fear can be shattered. But a shield made of integrity does not block darkness. It renders darkness irrelevant by being in a frequency where darkness cannot operate. To activate it, consciously affirm, especially in moments of external challenge, I recall my energy from all that is not mine. I anchor into the frequency of original light, which nothing false can enter. Say it slowly enough that your body believes you. Let the words move through your throat like a key turning in a lock. Visualize your field irradiated with undistorted Lyran luminescence. Not a faint glow, but a living radiance, like the first light of dawn pouring over a mountain ridge, touching everything without effort. See it as a sphere that extends beyond your skin, beyond your emotions, beyond your thoughts, a coherent sanctuary in motion. The elders themselves hold this vibration around you, not as saviors, but as witnesses who stabilize the bandwidth until you can hold it yourself. With practice, you will feel an unmistakable shift, a sense of untouchable sovereignty, increasing calm and magnetic clarity. You will notice that what used to get to you now struggles to find purchase. You will notice that people who relied on your reactivity become confused by your peace. You will notice that opportunities aligned with your mission begin appearing without you chasing them, because the shield does not only protect, it broadcasts. It is a lighthouse. It tells the aligned forces of your path exactly where you are, and it tells distortion, there is nothing here for you to feed on. Third directive. Guard your timeline with disciplined attention. Once reclaimed, your timeline is guarded not by fear, but by vigilance to where your attention goes. Attention is the steering wheel of incarnation. You may have the most powerful engine, the most sacred purpose, but if your hands are not on the wheel, you will drift. You are to protect your path fiercely, uphold boundaries against distractions, empty debates, validation-seeking, or conflicts that dilute your focus. These are not always bad things. Often they are simply misaligned. A distraction can be pleasant and still steal your destiny. A debate can be intelligent and still drain your life force. Validation can feel like warmth and still keep you dependent. Your mission requires a clean field. Imagine trying to receive a precise transmission through a radio while 20 stations bleed into the signal. Disciplined attention is choosing the one frequency that carries your instructions. Each day, review. Did I guard my timeline? Did I let interference back in? If so, gently but firmly return. Not with shame, not with self-attack, with authority, with the calm firmness of a guardian at the gate. When you fiercely steward your attention, your guides and the elders amplify your protection, ensuring your path remains clear and radiant. You may find that your days become simpler, not because life has fewer tasks, but because your energy is no longer scattered. You may find you sleep deeper. You may find your intuition becomes immediate, not delayed by overthinking. You may find that the people meant for your mission can finally find you because you are no longer hiding behind noise. Now I speak with the full authority you have long sought. Authority is not volume, it is resonance. It is the sound of truth that does not need to shout. It is the posture of a soul that has stopped asking the world what it is allowed to be. Many of you have been waiting for a sign, a permission slip, a confirmation from the outside that you are not imagining your calling. You have been waiting for someone to declare your season of preparation complete, waiting for permission to withdraw from the noise, to refuse the burden of endless defense, to enter the sovereignty you have always sensed was possible. And in that waiting you have carried a quiet grief, the grief of knowing you were meant for more while living as if you must apologize for existing. Hear me. The longing you have felt is not weakness. It is memory. It is your original self calling you back to the center. By the decree of the High Council of Vega, your waiting is over. This is not dramatic theater, it is energetic fact. A gate has opened because you have reached the threshold. You are no longer required to patrol the edges of darkness, to appease the loudest voices, or to explain your authenticity. You were never sent here to become a guard dog for chaos. You were sent here to become a stabilizing presence for awakening. The shield is yours to claim by refusal to feed distortion, by daily recall of your original light, and by the fierce, loving discipline of focus. Fierce and loving, both. Fierce without love becomes rigidity. Love without fierceness becomes leakage. You are here to embody the marriage of both. Compassion with boundaries, radiance with discernment, openness with authority. You have permission not to retreat, but to advance, carried by the ancestral authority of your lineage. Advance does not mean rushing. It means moving forward without negotiating with fear. It means your feet walk in the direction of your calling, even if your mind still trembles. You have permission to disregard every mirage of threat and every test of worthiness. Worthiness tests are a signature of distortion. Original light does not test, it invites. It does not taunt, it calls. You have permission to walk your timeline untouched. Untouched does not mean you will never feel pain. It means your essence will not be hijacked by pain. It means your mission will not be rerouted by the opinions of those who cannot see it. It means you will not surrender your inner authority to the mood of the collective. You are witnessed, recognized, and now officially protected. Protection here is not an external wall that separates you from life. It is a sanctified alignment that allows you to move through life without being consumed by it. The elders have spoken, and the field of original Lyran light surrounds you. Imagine it like an ancient mantle placed upon your shoulders, not heavy, but perfectly fitted, like remembering a garment you once wore before forgetting your own name. All that remains is for you to move as one who knows this to be true, not as one who hopes, not as one who tries, as one who knows. Because knowing changes your decisions, knowing changes your posture, knowing changes what you tolerate, knowing changes what you attract. This is your activation. Let these words not be inspiration, but ignition. Not a spark that entertains you for an hour, but a flame that changes your trajectory. Ignition means movement. It means the engine of your mission turns over. It means excuses lose their grip. It means you stop waiting for ideal conditions and start becoming the condition through which light moves. The world does not need more spectators of awakening. It needs embodied transmitters. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground, place your hand on your solar plexus, and speak these words aloud. The solar plexus is the seat of will, the inner sun of your incarnation, the place where your personal power either radiates or collapses. When you place your hand there, you are not performing a ritual to impress the unseen. You are reminding your body that it is safe to stand in authority. Speak these words aloud because sound anchors frequency into matter. Let your voice be the seal. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. And when you finish, do not rush back into your usual mental loops. Sit for a moment. Breathe as if you are breathing from that inner sun. Let your system register the decree. You may feel emotion rise. You may feel resistance flare. You may feel relief like rain. Whatever comes, let it come. The shield is not activated by pretending you feel fearless. It is activated by choosing alignment even while feeling. Courage is not absence of sensation. It is fidelity to mission. This council is now adjourned. But your service on Gaia is only just dawning. Dawn is quiet, yet it changes everything. First, there is a subtle light on the horizon, and then the entire world becomes visible. Withdraw your energy from all that is not your path. Not angrily, not dramatically, cleanly, like removing hooks from your aura one by one, returning each borrowed thread to its source. Anchor your shield of original light, not as a concept but as a daily posture. When you enter a room, when you open a message, when you sense a wave of collective panic, pause and anchor. Guard your timeline as you would guard a sacred child. A sacred child is protected not by paranoia, but by attentive love. You do not leave it wandering in dangerous places, and you do not terrify it with stories of monsters. You simply guide it, hold it, and choose wisely. The High Council will continue to observe and transmit, but you must meet the field fully. Meeting the field fully means showing up as yourself, not as a smaller version designed to survive. It means your kindness is not performative. It means your boundaries are not negotiable. It means your devotion is not dependent on applause. I am Zoran. You are no longer being prepared. You are being authorized. Authorization is a turning point. Preparation is rehearsal. Authorization is opening night. Move now, not because the threats have vanished, but because you have become untouchable within your light. Untouchable does not mean invulnerable in the human sense. It means your core cannot be coerced. It means your purpose cannot be bargained away. It means your spirit does not bow to distortion. That is what the elders have waited to witness. Not that you would never stumble, but that you would stop kneeling to the illusion of external control. The moment you stand in original light, the entire architecture of your life begins to reconfigure around truth. Your mission is active, your shield is raised, and Gaia awaits your transmission. Gaia is not waiting for perfection. Gaia is waiting for presence. The planet is a living consciousness, and it recognizes coherence the way a forest recognizes the return of rain. Your transmission is the way you speak, yes, but also the way you hold your gaze, the way you treat your body, the way you refuse to participate in fear, the way you bless your home, the way you choose silence over reactive speech, the way you choose creation over complaint. Every aligned choice is a broadcast. Every moment you withdraw your energy from distortion, you feed the grid of awakening. Every moment you anchor original light, you become a stabilizing node. And nodes, when coherent, become networks. Networks become waves. Waves become worlds. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.